the seed of the imbalance is usually a small thing, actually. The symptom comes up to the surface, and it seems so big, and so sometimes so uncomfortable. But the seed is very easy to wrap awareness around that, because in its nature, it's usually not as uncomfortable as the symptom. So you can do it. And for this reason, there is this sort of softness at the celestial and astral levels, or causal and astral levels of the physiology, that help buffer awareness so that it doesn't experience damage while going in to affect the healing. So important that we are safe when we are healing. We are learning to bend our filters. We're learning to bend the prism of the lens of our astral bodies in order to wake up the timeline which best accommodates our intention to be a perfect manifestation of Source. Oh, you can use it for anything. But I'm just throwing that out there as one way, one seed for the timeline is to accommodate our intention to be the most perfect possible expression of Source that we can be. That one, I offer it because it embraces a lot of the other desires that are rolling around in there, right? Healthy and happy and sweet connections with everybody, and life that is opulent and full of grace, full of goodness. That healing that just took place in our hearts a few moments ago set a foundation for the establishment of that intention. So it could rest on a bed of wholeness. And there is a very interesting example of bending the timelines in order to accommodate intention. Because what happened was the intention came out of the present, it rolled out of the present. I'm describing what just happened because I don't want you to miss this. This was pretty cool, you guys. You did this too. I mean, like, this stuff rolls out of me because of you. Because of you. Anyway, so the intention to have a timeline that accommodates our desire to manifest divinity was moving out in the future in front of us. But what it did was it also flipped backwards at the same time and caused a healing to occur moments earlier in the heart that would form the foundation to support that forward move in the most graceful possible way. Glorious. That's glorious. That's glorious. So what we're actually seeing happening here is a thickening. It's related to the beginning of this webinar when the astral bodies got that sweet, thick, yummy kind of enhanced quality, which has been carrying with us through the webinar and integrating with each step of healing work. Also an expression of the thickening, that from the present moment, the now, becomes thick. It can become fat, and it can draw upon resources from the past in order to support forward progress. There's a causal space for that. Loving reverence. By the way, I know I've said this before, but it never hurts to be reminded that the way we interact with our own physical bodies and the way we interact with all the regions of the causal field is with loving reverence. Because that energy supports the integration and stabilization of the relationship. It opens the channel. It busts through boundaries. The form in the causal field responsible for the manipulation of time has multiple names, is found in different religions. In Hinduism, it's known as an aspect of Lord Shiva, Lord Kalabhairava. But sometimes it's known as just grandfather time. It just depends on where your origins are. But this structure, we are in it. When we focus, when I bringing up this concept that we are in the now, we are right here, right now. When we stabilize our awareness right in the present moment, that means not worrying about what's going to happen in the future, and that means not being troubled about what happened in the past, but just being right now. We align. That's a way of bending the astral field to focus and align with Lord Kalabhairava, the grandfather time. You know, musicians do that because I played music for years. Because when you make music, you have to be right spot on. You have to be with that note. If you're playing the C, you're playing the C. The eyes may be reading ahead in the music, but the whole being is pouring into that note. And if you're in the rest between the notes, you're in the rest. So it's just like that. And it's one reason why I think people study music, is because it, in a sense, it cultivates the ability to be extremely present, extremely down to very fine. Sometimes I was reading music the other day and it had like a 30-second note rest, and it was running along at 138 eighth notes per second. And so it was moving, and that 30-second note rest was like a really tiny rest, but I had to be with it, you know, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be playing the music right. So being in the present moment, just the intention and the focus of awareness, I am here now, brings us into alignment. It focuses the prism, it focuses the lens on Lord Kalabhairava. And from this present moment, this is the unique relationship that we have with this form of our own causal bodies, is that when we're in the present moment with that loving reverence and connection to this aspect of time, Lord Kalabhairava is able to give us more information about the nature of time, about accessing the true timelines. There are a lot of different timelines, and some of them are more slicey than others, right? Some timelines are broad and they encompass the whole truth of the story of the universe, the whole Akashic record. And some timelines are kind of narrow, and they sort of tell a story kind of partly. The ability to thicken the present moment and support its ability to hum with eternity. And that's the purpose of connecting with this particular aspect of the causal field. That is the purpose of connecting with Lord Kalabhairava. Lord Kalabhairava exists completely independent of time, and that is how and why that aspect, that region of creation can be provide mastery over time. It's integrating and integrating and integrating. There are lots of loops. They're looping in and looping in and looping in right now. Back to source like that. How we thicken the present moment so that we're drawing upon, we're actually uplifting the past and the future simultaneously when we are in the present moment with that loving reverence and that intention to accommodate the ability to express the source of creation in every little boundary of the relative field of creation. See how beautiful you are? See what you created? Amazing, amazing, amazing.